Welcome to our coverage of the 57th Daisy BB Gun Nationals hosted in Rogers, Arkansas. With nearly 500 competitors, this year's event featured not only the team BB gun matches for the national title, but also 10-meter air rifle, returning champions matches, and the all-new Top 10 shootout. We'll also be bringing you interviews with teams, coaches, and competitors, as well as our discussions with Robert Barr, president of the NRA, Scott Stuhr, program coordinator for the National 4-H Shooting Sports, and of course Keith Higginbotham, president of Daisy. It was a jam-packed event, and we are excited to bring you our coverage of the 2024 Daisy Nationals. Let's get started.
Hey there guys, it's Rick here with AirgunWeb. We're at the Daisy Nationals 2024. We're with Clyde. Did I get that right?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. And you have the whole team here.
Yes.
That has one job, one purpose, is to make sure that these guns, before they go in there, meet the rules.
Correct.
Okay, now you get, this is the $4.99, right?
$4.99.
Okay, awesome, very, very accurate 5-meter BB gun. This is a modified $4.99.
That's correct.
Now, they can make some changes, but there's like a limit, right?
Yes.
So first of all, just tell me a little bit about the gun, and then we'll talk about some of the things teams do to try and get that little bit more accuracy.
All right.
So let's start with that.
This is, as he said, the factory, the way it comes from the factory. It weighs roughly 3 pounds as it comes from the factory, which is very light. And most of the teams will add weights to their rifles, generally putting lead in the back or underneath the stock, and sometimes up in the forestock. They have to use the factory supplied sights, and this is the most accurate 5-meter BB gun in the world. And if you take the shot tube out, let me use the other one because it's already loose. Take the shot tube out and put this shot tube in a vise and shoot it. It will shoot a BB through the same hole every time. That's how accurate it is.
That's awesome.
Now, if the guns are allowed to be modified, they can lengthen the stock, they can cut it off and lengthen it, but this butt plate has to remain in the same configuration that it came from the factory in. They can put cross-hatching in the wood, they can rough the wood up, they cannot put any kind of adhesive, abrasive material on there to help keep the gun solid in the shoulder. They are not allowed to put weights inside the barrel. I've never seen it, but as part of our inspection, we take a flashlight, look down the barrel to make sure that there are no weights in it. We weigh the gun. The weight can be no more than 6 pounds, and it goes on the scale. 6 pounds or under, it's great. And we look at the butt plate. We look if they have extended the butt plate, that this plane remains the same and this plane remains the same so that they don't raise or lower the butt plate. That's about it on the rifle inspection. We also have a sling that they use in the kneeling and prone positions. And the sling may not be wider than 1 1/4 inches and has to have specified types of fastenings, and there can't be this big cuff on the end. So this is a regular sling that is okay that they can use. They also use a kneeling roll. The kneeling roll has to fit in this container, and the kneeling roll goes under their ankle when they're in the kneeling position to help support them. This is a kneeling roll.
There you go.
And it's made out of a soft, pliable material, and usually you put kind of a little V in it, and then when they're in the kneeling position, the leg that sticks out behind the ankle goes right on top of this to support it and keep it from twisting.
Okay.
They're not required to use the kneeling roll. They don't have to if they don't want to.
Okay,
but
so
it has to fit in that thing.
Gotcha. Okay, so I've shot the stock, and he's right, it's super accurate, fun to shoot. I would love to try one that's like been kitted out to like 6 pounds. Now, why would they, I mean, I think I know, but for those that don't know, why do you want to add weight to the gun?
The heavier the rifle, the easier it is to maintain a hold. If it doesn't weigh anything, when you're in your shooting position, especially in standing when you're unsupported, you get a wiggle. The hold is what they call it just before you pull the trigger and the rifle is moving a little bit. So the heavier the rifle, the easier it is to maintain a hold. And also, it dampens what little recoil there is on a BB gun.
Yeah, because this is spring powered. You got a spring in there when you cock it, when you release it, spring's moving. There's reciprocating motion.
Right.
And like the win or loss here, we're talking hundredths of an inch.
Yes.
Like, I mean, so like there's really no room for that kind of error. You really want to have this as stable as possible. So I thought that's why you would want more weight. Makes sense to me.
Right.
Now, do you see people try and do like stuff with the trigger or other, I mean, like everybody has like their secret sauce they try and do, right? But you didn't say anything about trigger pull or any adjustments there.
The rules require that the trigger remain unmolested. You can polish the trigger a little bit, the sear in the trigger, but more than that, you can't do anything. We don't take the guns apart. Most people don't mess with the triggers. It's just too much trouble to take it apart and put it back together.
It's not like it's not a match grade adjustable trigger, but it is a very good trigger.
Yes.
As long as it's smooth, like you're saying,
yes,
then you can get very accustomed to it. And it's not like you having to yank on it. It's pretty light.
Yes.
Out of the factory. So that's pretty cool. Now, what have you seen in your years of people trying to do to kind of get that little bit of an edge? And how rampant is it? I'm guessing it doesn't happen. Yeah,
it's not. This is a sport of ladies and gentlemen. And
that's cool.
99% of the kids here are outstanding. They're polite, they're obedient, they're just great people. And very seldom do I have any problems. We have 3,000 people roughly that show up for the opening ceremony. And we get maybe 5 or 6 people at the most that are difficult. 5 people out of 3,000, I think, is an extraordinarily wonderful average.
Yeah.
And as far as cheating is concerned, I haven't run into any rampant, purposeful cheating. There are people that make mistakes. They cut their butt off. Well, like this one. They'll cut this butt off and leave the butt plate flat like this, which is illegal. Out of ignorance, not because they're trying to get away with anything. There's people that will, at home, weight their rifle to 5.99 pounds. On the way here, it picks up moisture or something, and by the time it gets here, it weighs 6.12 pounds. And so they have to take their rifle, remove 0.12 pounds of weight, and bring it back so that it weighs 6 pounds or less. Every once in a while, you find someone out of ignorance that puts a piece of abrasive material on the butt plate. But as far as people trying to cheat, trying to scam the system, it really doesn't happen.
That's very cool. And look, the coaches is a huge honor system, right? I mean,
yes.
The whole thing, and I can attest to when my daughter was here a couple years ago. I mean, she and the other shooters, they were allowed to go do stuff, and you knew that it was going to be okay.
Yes.
I mean, it was just really, really cool environment. Our experience, I've been here several times, is very much what you're saying. Just a bunch of really well-behaved kids having a good time. Coaches that have spent all year to be able to come here, they don't want to jeopardize that by being a little too heavy. There's no point to it. So yeah, I was just curious, but I'm glad to hear that it's on the up and up.
Daisy has been told by the motel staff or hotel staff that of all of the groups that come here, this is the most well-behaved and most welcome group that they have.
That's awesome.
They have youth softball, football, baseball, you name it, soccer, and these kids create less problems than any of the other organizations that come to see them.
That's awesome. Well, man, I really appreciate that. I learned some stuff today. I hope you guys learned some stuff too. We're going to let you get to work because you've got like them stacking up here.
They are.
And they need to get in here and get their guns checked out because tomorrow they start shooting, right?
Yes, they do.
So today we've got registration, gun check-in. Tomorrow we've got
Tomorrow they have practice.
Practice, okay, that's right.
And the competition starts Tuesday
Okay,
morning.
so they got practice tomorrow. We got opening ceremony tomorrow. We have a lot of fun happening. Then the real work starts.
Yes.
So I'm excited. I'm excited to be here. Thank you so much for taking the time to do that.
Absolutely.
That was awesome. Guys, we're going to get back to, walking around and checking some things out, talking to some folks. Thank you guys so much for watching us here. Daisy Nationals 2024. My name's Rick Utzler here with AirgunWeb. Big breath. And Clyde. See you guys. Have a good one.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching our coverage of the 2024 Daisy Nationals. If you would like to learn more about the Daisy Nationals or other shooting programs mentioned in this video, please be sure to check out the links in the video description. Thank you again for watching, and we hope to see you again next year.